Welcome back to the NYAC Race for 8-3 stop. Number 4, it's Dave Chapman taking on old rival, Nadi Alvarado Jr. Dave Chapman here via the qualifier took out upset-minded Kevin Kopchuk in that qualifier finals. We welcome back Dave Vincent, 25-2. Now he faces a guy he's played for over 20 years, Dave Vincent, Nadi Alvarado Jr. And this is one of those matches, I think, where neither of us really have any idea what to expect.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And, you know, earlier these guys were both in the warm-up area of this handball tournament, and they were laughing at the fact that, hey, we used to play in the finals 16 years ago, and now we're in the round of 16 playing each other. What does that tell you? And then Dave Chapman chuckled a little bit, and Nadi did too, and I think both thinking back about 20 years ago, Dave. And it wasn't that long ago that they actually played in finals, you know, maybe 3 or 4 years.
Right. Well, you know, Nadi had Dave's number there in 2008 and 2009, beating him 4 times in a row, including that final in Alaska. I know you remember that one, Dave. But normally you'd say, Dave, that we know exactly what to expect from Nadi. He's always so steady. He's a guy that advanced to at least the semifinals of every race stop he played in the first 2 race seasons. And then this season it's been sort of a mixed bag for Nadi. 2 first-round losses and a final appearance.
0 serving 2.
Houston, he really was out of sorts. He was sick. He had a bad elbow and got taken out by Marco Chavez, who'd never beaten him before. You'd have to think Nadi, he'll never tell you this, but you'd have to think that motivated him a little bit, Dave.
It's a nice flat kill right there from Alvarado. Yeah, you know, I think it motivated him, certainly after that loss in Houston. But, you know, this is one of those strange seasons for him where I think he might even trade those losses at Plummer as well as Houston for that U.S. Open finals. If I said you're going to be in the U.S. Open finals or you have these 2 round of 16 losses, will you take it? He probably would say yes.
2 serving 1.
Talking about one of the biggest tournaments in the history of the sport.
You know, Dave, Nadi, a huge golf fan and a golfer. He loves to play during his free time, but he said, you know, I've completely dedicated myself to handball. I'm not even thinking about golf. I've put my clubs away to where I don't even know where they are. I'm not watching it. All I'm thinking about is handball right now. And it's unusual to hear Nadi talk about that kind of focus. What I noticed, Dave, is he's off to a very slow start here. 3 unforced errors already. But Nadi looks a lot leaner now than 4 weeks ago in Houston. Looks like he's dedicated himself to the gym and looks spry.
Well, Dave looks a little better too. And
yeah, I agree.
Skip point.
Another skip ball there from Nadi, and Dave now goes up. Now, Dave recently went on to rollouthandball.com and made some comments about a whole variety of controversial subjects, some that have been even moderated. But Dave, one of the things he did say is he took a shot at you, Emmett Pashot. He did not take a shot at Nadi Alvarado, which I'm kind of surprised because they have been longtime rivals, but he took a shot at Paul Brady, saying that he will be the #1 player again, and that Paul Brady is beatable. I mean, those were pretty controversial shots. Now, when you talk to Dave Chapman off air about those comments, he just kind of laughs and says, hey, I just kind of stirred the pot, didn't I? You know, sort of like I just kind of got people to start talking. And Dave kind of is looking at it from that angle, but do you believe that he really is feeling that these players aren't as good as he thinks they are, or do you think he has a lesson to be learned when he goes up against?
I think there's a few objectives to that. Number one, I think anytime you say anything, there's at least some truth to it in your own mind. And he probably also is using some gamesmanship, trying to get in these guys' heads, myself included, you know, wanting to plant a seed that, you know, I want you to try harder, push harder, because he knows you're not going to play your best when you're out of your comfort zone. So I think that's part of his objective, and I'm sure, just like all aging athletes, look back, you know, in their prime and think that they were better then, and so is their competition. Most would never say it, though. But Dave looks really strong here right now, and you know, this is where I believe, Dave, and you and I have disagreed. I think the qualifier helps these guys a lot. Dave has reps. He didn't push himself too hard today. He beat Daniel Cordova 25-12, then Kevin Kopchuk 25-2. Nadi's coming in here cold, literally, Dave. The courts are cold. He hasn't hit a ball on these courts in 20 years. These courts are very different. The floors are dead. The walls are dead.
It's almost like a different sport in these courts, and I'm not trying to just pile on and be negative, but it just is quite different.
Well, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I think it's cool that we play on a completely different type of court surface and wall. Just like tennis, Dave. I know you love those comparisons,
Point.
but another error there from Nadi. You have to credit the hop from Dave. But to
8 serving
analogize
1.
it, Dave, to golf, you're not allowed to play on the course once the tournament starts. So you can't go out at night and go work on the 18th hole. You'd be disqualified from the event. Now here in handball, Dave Chapman has had a chance to play 2 tournament matches on this court. Nadi has played none.
And Nadi historically starts off slow. So
That's true.
this could be a whole bunch of things kind of
Over ball.
culminating there. And this is
Where'd that ball
a do-over here because there was
Okay.
no rule stated
All right.
before the match started.
I'm not so sure about the rules on the court. I'm pretty sure.
It's a
out
do-over,
here
and
in
Nick can
NYAC
easily walk
or-
over to where we're at, and we would give him
Or
a
is it
head
'cause
nod.
every court I've played, if it goes out, it always. I've always played a replay on that. It's a side out. Side out. Okay. Side out. It's out. It's a side out. That's what they say. That's the ruling. Thanks.
I don't know who they are, but they are not us.
1 serving 8.
I'm actually perplexed because we've played in similar courts and that has been the rule, but it wasn't stated. The players all received their
Short
rule
ball.
sheet
Yeah,
before the
it's
tournament.
strange because it actually is the right call probably,
Yeah.
as this would have been
Second
stated.
serve.
In fact, we even talked about that, making that a rule, just a standing rule. So I'm kind of glad the players at least
Yeah.
kind of adopted a rule that we've been trying to get across for a long time. We'll explain more here. in a
Well, I
minute.
believe, Dave, that now that it's been done, we're not going to
done.
turn back. That will actually be a rule now.
Yeah.
Replay that.
Well,
Replay
it should have
that.
been anyway, but we just didn't pull the cord on it.
Yeah.
It's a low back wall for those at home, and there are some players.
It's actually
1 serving 8 over.
much higher than some of the courts we've
Yeah.
played. I mean, you really have to jack the ball up high
Yeah.
and miss the ceiling to get the
Short
ball
ball.
out.
Dave Chapman brings up a good point, though, that the ball hit the front wall and went out. It
Second
didn't hit the
serve.
ground first to go out, like a lot of players will hit the ceiling to
Yeah.
force it to go out. This was actually front wall all the way out.
Okay.
So Dave trying to just, get 1 more inch.
Well, Dave's
of
a
that
great
rep.
3-wall player, and in 3-wall, that would have been
Point.
50 feet out. So
Yeah.
maybe applying that rule here.
Alvarado now scoring another point.
Well, Nadi needs to get on track here because Dave is a great front runner. He knows how to pull away. He knows how to push at the right times.
2 serving
And if
8.
you give Dave a cushion like this, it's going to be very difficult for Nadi. You know, Dave, Nadi is a great server, and you'd say that these courts
Point.
are not going to favor him because they seem so slow. But having played in them, Dave, I feel like the serve comes off pretty well, pretty fast. It sounds dead, but it doesn't play as dead as you think.
3 serving 8.
This is also one of the first events, Dave, that we've played on plaster courts. We're normally playing on the cement.
That's us. And that's
Outside
a
out.
beautiful left corner kill from TGO. Walks in with his red shoes.
Yeah. Those are actually the
8 serving 3.
Kevin Durant shoes.
There's a dead board.
You hear Nadi exhaling as he hits that lob serve return and wraparound shot.
Well, if he's ever going to exhale, it's during this match. Nadi does not want to overhit those lob serves from Dave Chapman because Dave's back wall game looks pretty good here.
You know, talking to Dave before the match
Side out.
a little bit, told him this is probably the best draw you could have had. You know, you've got Nadi, a guy that he's had success against. You don't know how well Nadi's played. Also for Nadi, he's in a good spot to the draw to get to the semifinals. He's away
3
from Brady.
serving 8.
Although Dave said he wanted to play Brady. He's playing into the winner of Sean Lenning and John Iglesias. Sean has not had a good season. Neither has John. Then you're into the semifinals where you're playing Luis, who didn't look that sharp here
Yeah,
today.
that's a
So
good point.
it's never easy to win matches on the race tour because everyone is so good. But
4 serving 8.
if there was a good spot in the draw, I think this would be it.
Nice serve right there from Nadi, who has Dave pinned to the right. Nadi flips it over there, now back to that ceiling. Nadi letting a little bit of air out. Dave's dangerous there, misses that little
Point.
push shot to the right.
Yeah, this is Dave's only first unforced error to Nadi's 6.
But Nadi now with another one.
And, Dave still has a chance to make Salt Lake City. if he were to advance to the
5
semifinals
serving
here or
8.
even finals, and then back that up with another semifinal or final in Denver,
Really?
he could make it, yes. But
that-
if he loses this
Down ball.
match, his chances are
Point.
virtually over.
First timeout, 6-8.
6-8 now. You heard that timeout being called from Dave Chapman, who's going with that traditional 3-point scores, and I'm taking a timeout. Now, you're watching this opening round of 16. One game match to 25, win by 2. You see the scoreboard brought to you by Edel Handball at edelhandball.com. Since you're on the net, you might want to try it out and navigate through the site.
Dave actually weighted 5 points here. It's Nadi Trout 8-1. Dave takes a timeout at 6-8 now with Nadi serving.
I believe
Dave?
there was a change of hands there, though. It wasn't all at 5 straight points.
Yeah, that's true. Dave is moving better than I've seen him, definitely in this comeback since he came back in Plummer. And I think even a little bit better than he was moving towards the latter stages of his second comeback where he stopped in early 2012. Looks like his knee is getting a little bit stronger, and he looks a little bit leaner also, which is probably helping him move around the court. He really just tortured young Danny Cordova today, Dave. Danny left the court with a gash on his knee that was about the size of $2 silver. I mean, it was gushing blood from diving all over the court. Dave had him running on a string, literally, on every point.
Yeah. 6-8 here, Nadi Alvarado trying to just continue this run, and he found some success by
amazing shot.
I see pushing Dave right to left, forward to forward back. He is actually making Dave run a little bit more and have to do stuff with his shot. So
well, you know, Nadi has his system, but Dave, I thought, hit a nice service return there, a deep, hard V, and Nadi
7
steps
serving
back
8.
and hits a 2-inch high kill with his left hand.
you know, this
Great
all
shot.
happened after Dave hit that ball out of the ballpark. Since that moment, he hasn't scored again.
Oh, look at that great
Point.
shot from Nadi.
Dave is not fast running forward, and just thinking of those comments on rollouthandball.com and seeing shots like that,
Yeah.
I don't see how Dave is even in the ballpark and even discussing guys like
Together
Paul
at
Brady
8.
and
no.
yourself.
No.
Not with those corner kills like that.
No.
Short ball.
Oh, that looked good, I thought.
I thought it was short.
Okay.
I mean, I understand what he's doing with the gamesmanship, trying to get
Yeah.
into the head, because, you know, there really isn't anybody as good as Dave when it comes to that. And he has had success with that in the past.
Second serve.
But you still have to go out on the court and perform.
This is where the maturity, Dave, of Nadi Alvarado comes into play in over 20 years of pro experience. Even though he's playing a one-game match at 25, he's not going to let this slow start deter him. And you see a lot of guys, Dave, get down 8-1, and before you know it, it's,
Skip ball.
you know, 20-5. But Nadi's not going to let this get out of hand, and now he's taking the lead.
Nadi's really taken a breath here as well as that lead. But Dave pushed Nadi all over, and if it wasn't for that skip paddle kill from Dave Chapman, he'd be serving with Nadi completely out of breath. Now Nadi's
9
in control here.
serving
You
8.
might see a short ball from Nadi.
Well, it's interesting, Dave. Nadi,
Short
And there
ball.
it is. And that
Going
short
through
ball
his-
gives him just a little extra time here on this second serve. Sorry, Dave.
Nadi going through his entire stretching
Second
routine. It takes
serve.
about 2 hours for him. And Mike Semplis, who's a good friend of ours, Dave, voted the #1 trainer in Pittsburgh and physio, said that he was really impressed with Nadi's stretching routine,
Point.
as Nadi knew so many different things about how to stretch the different muscles, words that I've never heard of, so I wish I could relay them, but I can't. But regardless, just goes to show you how seriously Nadi takes his craft.
10 serving 8.
Nadi now on a 9-0 run after Dave hit that ball out into the gallery. Had a little controversial call from the referee, and both players talking to the ref at that point.
And I'm
Nice call.
surprised Nadi
Thank you.
doesn't get to that,
Side
Dave.
out.
Nadi,
Took the long way there.
well, he didn't recover well after coming out of that back left corner. Kind of hung back there, and Dave, I think, sensed it. Either that or just went for a very difficult corner kill.
8 serving 10.
Oh, look at that shot,
Wow.
Dave.
Side
Just
out.
amazing. How many guys in the world can hit a shot like that?
Well, you.
Well, I don't think
That-
so.
That's an unbelievable overhand
Yeah.
corner kill. That's without any fist shot. You see a lot of guys use a fist on that, but Nadi uses an open hand.
10
You
serving
almost
8.
call it a tomahawk.
9-0 run here for Nadi Alvarado.
Just over the
Point.
line. No short ball. It's going to be
He
appealed,
appeals.
but it's not going to be overturned.
Short ball.
Uh-oh.
And he agrees with me. Point.
The right call was made.
He thought it was short. It was a good ball. Point. 11 serving 8.
Nadi shook his head after finding out who
Right.
he respects that person.
Yeah.
I don't know who that line judge is, but Nadi didn't look back and want him kicked out.
Oh, beautiful left there from Nadi. Dave's overhit this. This is a Nadi Jr. special.
Point.
I like when Nadi takes that back wall shot right about his waist because he goes over the top of it and it really flattens out.
It's almost what you'd call a kill pass. He can hit that 8 inches high, but he puts the reverse on it, so you really have no play on it.
12 serving 8.
I think Nadi really wants to get past this round of 16 right now because of what happened in Houston. And also because he's playing Dave Chapman.
Well, I'll tell you, Dave.
Side out.
Dave Chapman would say that Nadi is not a rival of his, if you
of
talk
course.
to him. But Nadi looks at it the other way around.
But from a player's perspective, you're always
8
nervous in
serving
the first
12.
round. You always want to just get yourself into the event. And, you know, speaking for myself, I'm nervous throughout the entire first round. The last thing you want to do is trunk slam in the first round. Oh,
Jeez.
gosh.
I thought you had enough room to see it. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm sorry.
I didn't see it, Dave.
I saw it when
Okay.
it happened. I was
Wait, sorry.
surprised that Dave didn't look back to the ref, but he said he did. I was actually
All right.
looking for it. Here it is here.
Side out.
This is where Dave felt, right there, he looked back at the ref. That's why
Okay.
it was out of the camera.
Yeah,
angle.
sure.
That replay brought to you by Mintech.
Very exciting, Dave, to welcome on our new sponsor, Edel Sports. They've got some really cool gear, Dave, revolutionizing the handball glove
I was watching the
and
ball.
the
I
eye
wasn't
shield.
watching
I know
you,
that
was
you've
watching the ball,
worn
'cause
them
I gotta
both,
watch the
Dave.
ball.
Yeah, I know it's not part of what they're officially saying, but
Okay. I'm not gonna.
what I
don't
can
worry,
say
won't
is
answer your
that
question.
it's the first dry fit handball glove out there in the market.
I was watching the ball, and that's it.
Yeah, it's a very interesting concept.
And that's not their words, that's my words. It just feels like it's a dry fit. Now,
Okay.
it might not be dry fit. Somebody might own that patent or that
Yeah.
wording or whatever,
Uh-huh.
but their version of cool skin or whatever you want to say, the wiki, is that amazing glove. It's like I don't know. It's just a great feel. It's like it fits like a glove.
Yeah.
Go play handball, edelhandball.com.
Okay, time in.
Nadi looks really sharp here. 11-0 run now.
12 serving 8.
And the only thing Dave can do at this point is just argue with the ref because nothing else is working.
Point.
That ball just over the line again.
He appeals. One agrees. They
And-
both agree. Point.
You know, Dave, what you're seeing here is that although the ball sounds slow
13
coming off the
serving
wall,
8.
it comes off the wall, and Nadi's able to hit the same serves we're used to seeing him hit. I grew up on courts like this, Dave, and
Jeez, Nadi's
Point.
got
it's unbelievable what Nadi's doing right now. This is the Nadi Jr. that we've seen throughout the first 2 seasons and sporadically here in season 3.
14 serving 8.
But, you know, Nadi, Dave, is playing for a spot in the
Short
Players'
ball.
Championship. If he loses here in this match, which it doesn't look like he'll do, and then would drop another first round, he wouldn't be in.
wow.
So
Second serve.
normally Nadi's a guy you've already etched into your Players' Championship bracket, you know, before the season even starts. And he will be there, but he's going to have to work for it here late in the year.
Well, Dave has another gear that he hasn't tapped into yet. Nadi just does a
Halftime.
simple, easy
Nadi
two-wall
serves
pass to
when we
get
come back.
that 15th point and to force this 3-minute timeout, which is mandatory. Halftime, Nadi up 15-8 for Dave Fink. Dave Vincent will be back in about 2.5. Stay here at racerate.com.
costs you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
So, what's it gonna be? We could ride bikes, skating, movies, zoo, whatever you guys want to do.
Can we just do this?
Yeah. We could just do this.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Back into it here as Nadi gets that first serve. Nothing worse than the guy that just went on a 14-0 run.
Guys, I'm going to call a replay because you couldn't see that ball. It passed your body.
Oh.
And he was there.
I don't agree with that call, Dave.
It's nothing worse than that guy that
And the
gets
ball
that
is up
14-0 run to go into halftime,
Yeah.
and then gets the first
15
serve
serving
after
it
half.
over.
Rough.
And then that call from the referee, Dave, I mean, certainly that could have been on the fence there.
I didn't agree with
Short
that
ball,
call.
hit the line. He's appealing.
These
Short
guys
ball.
are appealing
agrees.
after
So,
everything
short ball.
close, arguing with everything that's close, and that's the reason why there's
Second
4 or 5
serve.
refs that said, I just don't want to ref these
Yeah.
guys.
Well,
Not because they're bad guys, it's just that they know how to bend every single word in that rule book. You're seeing line judges that can't get it correct. Nadi
Side
looked like
out.
he almost made contact with Dave on that shot.
Well, Nani tried to take something off it and hit an overhand soft kill.
8 serving 15.
Maybe that could be the spark Dave needs, but certainly not a good serve for Dave.
Point.
Dave
Look what I found.
Dave just barely got a hand on that. Just a little finger touching that left corner kill and gets a point. That's a first point now of the last 15 that have been scored
9 serving 15.
for Dave Chapman.
And now Dave is
Point.
going to implement a little different strategy here, going to play a little bit more aggressively. He knows exactly where Nadi's going to try and return that lob serve, and he waited for it, put himself in the right spot.
10 serving 15.
And Dave, we saw the momentum change on that kind of strange call where and Dave makes another great get, but where Dave hit the ball out of the court, Nadi got the side out, and now
Point.
Nadi made that strange air overhand soft kill, and Dave's gotten back in and quickly scored 3 points.
Both of those guys traded terrible shots. Then it was closed out by the worst terrible shot from Nadi Alvarado that went into the ground,
11
dipped in,
serving
and now
15.
11-15. Nadi overruns that paddle
Point.
kill there from Dave Chapman, and another point now for DC at 12-15. One game match, 25, early rounds all the way up to the semifinals. Play that format for the men and women on this tour.
12 serving 15.
Semis and finals are 2-21 tiebreaker to 11. Dave Chapman went to that underhand left corner kill there, Dave.
Yeah.
And Nadi knew it was coming, but Nadi overran it and would have went right to him. And that's another thing, you anticipate, you know what Dave's done because you've watched it on video or you've played against it. And sometimes you go to a spot and he just hits a little different spot and catches you off guard.
13
You're almost
serving
overplaying
15.
because of out of respect for what you think he's going to do to you.
Well, it looked like this match was just about over as Nadi had scored
Side out.
14 points in a row. Now all of a sudden Dave Chapman scored 5 points in a row, and Nadi needs a lucky paddle kill there to get the side out. You know, Dave Chapman played this tournament, Dave, the NYAC Invitational 2008, 9, 10, and 11. Never won
15
it.
serving 13.
And that's pretty surprising for Dave Chapman to play an event 4 times and not win it. He was in the finals a bunch of those times, too.
You beat him one of those times, actually, in a tournament I believe you won, which was right here at the New York Athletic
Side
Club.
out.
And how do you explain an air like that? It looks like Nadi's in his groove and hits a back wall setup off the bottom of his hand.
Well, Nadi, you know, we had some other pro players come over to our broadcast booth during that halftime just look at us, make eye contact,
13,
and shake their
serving
head like
15.
Nadi's in fuego.
Oh, okay.
And then all of a sudden, just as quickly as that fire was lit for Nadi, it's just been ice for him since. And now Dave has
Points.
got the hot hand, and he's scored another point.
Well, since Nadi attempted that strange off-balance lob kill that didn't make it, he hasn't done anything. He hasn't scored. He's only earned a side out, only served once. 6 points in a
14,
row now
serving
for Dave
15.
Chapman.
See, Dave's even making it worse. He's slowing the ball down. Nadi's having to be forced to make those crazy kill shots, and somehow Dave was able to get a hand on that, throws it to the back wall,
amazing.
gets it back to the front, unable to make the front wall, and Nadi gets the side out. I think Nadi
Side
believes
out.
that Dave didn't get that ball in the middle of the rally, and that's why you're seeing a little bit of this, I'm going to walk a little further up to the front wall, shake my head type deal. Nadi using some reverse
15,
gamesmanship.
serving 14.
It was great awareness by Dave to flip that ball into the back wall. Unfortunately for him, he caught the ceiling and
Let's
it slowed
see
it
here.
down.
That's the
He
shot
got it.
that Nadi, I think, is frustrated with. There's that beautiful get back to the front
Side
wall.
out.
From
Didn't make it though.
Didn't make it, but
Yeah.
he certainly could have.
But it's incredible to have those kind of reflexes. The ball goes
14,
past
serving
you,
15.
and you know to switch hands.
Replay, replay.
We just got word from the other court, Paul Brady, I don't know if you ever heard of him, defeated Luis Cordova in the round of 16 by the score of 25-6.
Well, Luis Cordova apparently
14,
didn't stay
serving
close with him because
15.
I read that if you stay close with Brady, he just starts skipping everything. That's all you have to do is stay close. Oh, amazing
Side
shot
out.
there from Nadi. And Dave, I've never seen someone as nervous as Paul Brady over the last 24 hours, not knowing who he's going to play. I mean, this guy was like a caged tiger. He was
15,
jumping
serving
around.
14.
He asked me about 50 times, and that's not an exaggeration. You know I don't exaggerate, Dave.
No.
Yeah.
You've
50
not been
times,
a type that would ever.
No, I wouldn't.
Side out.
Who he was going to play.
Uh-huh.
And then also another 50 questions about why his Players' Championship win from the Race for 8-2 season doesn't count towards this
14,
race season.
serving 15.
Well, I'm glad, and I hope you address that.
Well, I addressed it in 15 emails in the last 2 weeks also. Oh, great shot there from Dave.
Point.
Slows the ball down. And Dave, the momentum shifts in this match. Chapman
Together at
leads
15.
8-1. Nadi leads 15-8. Now tied at 15. So does that mean Nadi's going to score the next 7 and then Dave will score the next 10
Side
after
out.
that?
Well, Nadi just found that groove off the back wall. You never know here. Beautiful camera angle from Linda Manning. Kelso Longview, Washington. Camera operator. for
Together
that
at 15.
laser shot we saw from Nadi Alvarado off the back wall. 15-15 here. Who's
See
going to
Nadi
score the
wearing-
last 10 points, Dave?
Yeah. Well, you see Nadi wearing that elbow brace. An amazing
Point.
shot with his left. Had some problems with that elbow in Houston. Didn't really talk about it. Said it just, you know, was hurting him. Wasn't able to take full swings. He said now it feels good. So I don't know if that
16,
brace is for
serving
tennis
15.
elbow or golfer's elbow or just a preventative thing. Oh, Nadi hits that amazing sharp
Point.
corner kill that tracks away from Dave, but it popped up off the side wall. Dave had a chance at it to hit it with the backhand.
Seventeen, serving 15.
You're not going to see a lot of glove changes and shirt changes, Dave, at this event because
Short
it's
ball.
pretty chilly here
Yeah.
in this facility. I mean, I'd say on the court it's probably 65, 66 degrees,
Second serve.
which
Yeah.
is very pleasant conditions.
Yeah, it was so cold this morning. The town flasher was actually doing a puppet show in Central Park.
Huh.
It's
Yeah.
just doing illustrations, I guess. is
Okay.
the point. And that's just a
Side
crazy
out.
shot from Dave. You know, he's
Yeah.
got that flop shot, but
Right.
that is just a little
Yeah.
redirected paddle that's much more like a big ball shot than anything. But he does it so nonchalantly, Dave. I don't
Well,
know why more guys
15,
don't
serving
just
17.
use
Well,
their
it
hands
looked
more.
like he wasn't even going to get the ball. Then not only does he get it, but he puts an amazing spin on it.
Side out.
And that's
Check
a
the
shot
ball,
you see
please.
Dave try a lot in doubles when he's already up in the front court. But is that a desperation shot? Is that a sign that he's fatigued, or he's
No,
just?
I think he just wants, he knows that he gets those quick points off Nadi's return, and he wanted to run up there and just hit a nice flat roll right there, so Nadi would have to run forward. Nadi and Dave are both slow moving back to
17,
front.
serving 15.
Side to side, they're still okay. And he got some early
Short ball.
points against Nadi off of that same exact thing. Just run up and attack really quick.
Right.
But I think Dave knew he had to get on his horse a little bit quicker there, and it just,
Well, you know,
Second
sometimes
serve.
Nadi gets a little complacent on the lob serve return. He'll just sort of paddle it back, and
Replay
Dave-
that screen ball.
Dave will sense that, and he'll move in and take those out of the air while Nadi's hanging back. This is a second serve, one screen. You don't see this happen a
17
lot.
serving 15, second
A
serve.
screen serve here would be a double fault. So you knew he wouldn't go back down the left. Huge setup.
you see Nadi readjusting his feet right there
Point.
as Dave threw a little hook
Need a towel?
on his return.
And Dave's saying that he won't be diving here in this event because these floors are very
Oh, they're-
unforgiving.
Yeah, he already cut himself earlier, and
Yeah.
not only unforgiving, but just it's cold and lopsided, and
Well,
there's just
the
weird things
floors
going
are-
on here.
I'm not a carpenter, but there's space in between some of the wood. I don't know what you'd call that, but that creates the cuts.
It's actually called space in
space,
between the
okay.
wood.
Well, I figured that carpenters would have a word for that.
There it is, and you
It's
can
not
see it. It's
finished well.
well, I think it was at one point. That was before water damage back in 1930, some
Okay.
odd 30s.
Well, actually, these courts that were built 10 or 12 years ago.
18 serving 15.
I think maybe the contractors got their check and left town. Didn't finish the job. And you know, Dave, when you pay somebody to put your roof on, you better wait until the roof
Thank you.
is up
Two
before you
bounces.
give them their full amount. You'll be living in Texas Stadium with that half roof. No? Okay.
19 serving 15.
You heard that score at 19 to 15. Alvarado, red shirt, serving, starting to break away here from Chapman. Chapman had a nice run, but was unable to get back into that
Side
box,
out.
and then he rolls that ball out, just softened it up just a little bit.
Dave completely overhit that shot in the rally, and Nadi could have let that come off the back wall. Instead, he just played a strange fly paddle shot.
15
There was
serving
no way to hit that
19.
with power because it was right up into his body. Oh, and that's a shot that Dave wants there.
I've seen him miss a lot of paddle shots this week.
Talking to some of the pro players, Dave, they said, you know, throughout this comeback, Dave's paddle kills are not an inch high. They're more like 4 inches
19
high.
serving 15.
That's a big difference.
You still need to bend your knees. A lot of players,
Replay, please.
a lot of
was-
players that make the mistake on that shot, that trying to emulate Dave, is they are shooting that paddle by locking their legs and staying upright. Dave makes it seem like you can do it from any position, but you really do have to bend down. You can't just stand where you're standing and just stick a
19
hand out.
serving 15.
19 to 15, replaying that last shot,
Short ball.
and that one's short by a mile.
Now he looks like he's
Second
coming
serve.
too much over the top of that reverse back to the left, and he's just kind of smothering the ball, and it's coming up 6 feet short.
Point.
That's a strange air. And once again, another run. After Chapman scores 8, Nadi's now scored 5.
Yeah, it's really strange.
20 serving 15.
These are the type of guys you don't see the runs from, really. I mean, Nadi, yes, you know, in his past, but just the way he's played recently, no. But Nadi's had more runs than Dave has had. Nadi's going to try to get this one over.
I thought you wanted that. I thought you wanted that, but it was on the wall. I know you couldn't get a finger on it. It was up though, but I thought you wanted it, and I thought you saw it good enough. So I'm sticking with my call.
Good ref here, Dave. Mr. Horniak.
He moved, and I thought you had enough. I'm sorry. That's my call. Okay. He did not stay there. Otherwise, it would have been a screen.
I agreed with the call.
15 serving 20.
I don't see how that's a screen or a hinder.
I think at one moment, It was a screen, but then Dave really backed out of there, and Nadi just
Side out.
did a little one of those handball god shots where handball gods just
Yeah.
spoke and
Yeah.
gave me a side out.
So where does Dave Chapman go from here, Dave? After saying what he said, and now he's
20,
5 points from
serving
another
15.
round of 16 loss.
Short ball.
Nadi and Dave talking back and forth here.
Second serve.
Oh my gosh, what a shot.
Point.
And that was an inch high, hit the sidewall and flat rolled.
That was an amazing shot right there from Nadi Alvarado, and I thought we'd see a timeout from
21,
Chapman.
serving 15.
You really can't play a three-wall shot against Nadi when he's in the front court. You see some guys like
Short
Sean
ball.
Lenning will take that ball out of the air and flat roll it. Nadi actually takes it on the bounce, hits it on the way up,
Second serve.
and flat rolls it.
Perfect timing.
Yeah. And he hits it so hard. If you're a player and you go in there and try and hit that shot, you'll miss-hit it.
Point.
99 times out of 100, he hits it 1 out of 100.
That return never even made it to the front wall from Dave Chapman.
You have to remember, though, that
22,
Nadi Alvarado
serving 15.
beat Dave Chapman in 2009 and 10 consistently.
Yeah, he had a nice run there.
So this is not a shock. And at that time, Chapman was in the top 4.
Well, Nadi was playing some pretty good ball. That was during that time of that knee surgery.
Side out.
Well, Nadi is always playing good ball. I know that you read the feature on him, Dave. Top 20 player, or excuse me, top 5 player for over 20 years.
That's a pretty good record.
15, serving 22.
Dave Chapman finds himself down by 7 here.
We talked about Chapman in a good part of the draw. Nadi also in a great part of the draw. I think whoever wins this match.
Thought you're out of position for that, Dave. Side out.
Whoever wins this match will be a threat to go to the final. Hard to bet against Luis Moreno ever, knowing his record, but
22,
Nadi Alvarado has
serving
beat Luis
15.
Moreno in race play.
I'm going to guess wrong, but that was
Side out.
Fresno.
Yeah, that's correct.
I
That
didn't
was-
guess wrong.
No, you didn't. That was rally scoring, and he beat him convincingly there. 2
Okay.
games.
Nadi was pretty hot there in that tournament. Until he
Hey, he
came
was
across
really-
Sean Lenning.
You're right. And Sean played one of the most
15,
amazing
serving
matches I think
22.
anyone's ever seen. That first game in that match, Sean hit 10 ace serves,
I think it was something like 16-1 to start.
and that was rally scoring 16-1. Absolutely amazing. And why does
Replay,
Nadi
replay,
not let
guys,
that
too
come off the
close, too
back
close.
wall, Dave? I mean, you know that's going to come right back to where you're standing off the back wall. It's a much easier shot.
It is, but Nadi's been really hot up somewhere up there near the short line into those corners.
15,
like to ask him
serving
about
22.
that.
Well, he'll give you an answer. 16-22 now. Dave
He actually-
finally scoring a point.
He probably won't, actually.
No, he will.
Okay. Looking forward to that. And Dave's hit some
Point.
really nice right punch fist back to the left. Caught Nadi going the wrong way, and he's put some power on it so that even if Nadi recovers, the ball's by him.
16, serving 22.
Wow, Nadi goes for
Point.
that almost overhand 1-inch high kill shot from there.
You know, even if he makes that, Dave, the
Second
angle the ball's
timeout,
coming
1
in,
minute,
the ball's going to hit the front
17,
wall
serving
more often
22.
than not and pop up and give Dave an opportunity.
There's a timeout being called on the floor by Nadi Alvarado, who finds himself still leading, but Dave Chapman scoring 2 straight here at 22-17. Chapman actually serving. USHA National 4-Wall Championships be back in Minnesota this year at the beautifully renovated University of Minnesota Rec Center, where you and I have been before. That's the event where you can play against the best players in your age and skill level and take in as the pros will have their action on the show court as well. Might want to make sure that you mark your calendar. I'm going to get mine out right now. June 17th through the 22nd. You can get more information at ushandball.org. That is the four-wall National Handball Championships in Minnesota. University of Minnesota Rec Center. Great place.
Nadia Alvarado, Dave, has played in more race finals than anyone without ever winning a race title. 5 finals, 0-5 in those finals. Kind of like the
22.
Buffalo Bills, Dave, of the early 90s. What an accomplishment, though, Dave, to make it to 5 finals. Beat some amazingly great players to get there. He came up short, though, against Sean Lenning in a couple of those finals, also against Luis Moreno.
Dave Chapman was in the driver's seat for much of that rally, and then all of a sudden, he made one bad shot, made another bad shot, and now he capitalized with a 2-wall pass. Well, that's kind of Nadi's record, though, also in national championships.
Yeah.
He's been there a few times. He just hasn't
22, serving 17.
gotten a big one.
Well, it makes it even more amazing that Luis Moreno is 11-1 in the finals. Or excuse me, 9-1 in the finals. A testament to, and this will be tough. Yeah.
Side out.
Nadi kind of lets up there at the end and feathers that ball into the floor. Dave back serving, 17-22.
This is basically a tiebreaker here now, Dave, because Nadi needs just 3 points to win the match. Almost as though Nadi's up 8-3 in the tiebreaker.
17, serving 22.
And
Side
Dave
out.
floors that paddle kill, which he's been really missing this tournament.
But I wouldn't even call that a paddle kill. That's a trap kill, which is not a high percentage shot. Dave's known for being a high percentage player, and he's gone for a couple of really crazy shots up there in front of the foot fault line.
22,
None of them have
serving
worked.
17.
Oh, that's a beautiful
Side out.
paddle into the left corner. Makes Nadi pay for a serve that catches the side wall.
17, serving 22.
That's
Wow.
been Dave's
Point.
best weapon here in the second half, is the reverse right-hand fist.
Serving 22.
Chapman trails by 4. Changes his serve. This is the first
Short
time we've
ball.
seen that. The ball was actually long, and referee calls it short. I think the end result is probably what we're after.
So many
Second
serve.
serve.
great matchups here in this event. We've got literally 99% of all the greatest players in the world just missing Alan Garner and
Pass ball.
Charlie Shanks, really. But how can you argue against this field as being one of the strongest ever?
Well, it would be nice to have Dermot Nash here as well,
That's
but
true.
you're right.
22, serving 18.
Nadi serving at 22-18. Also be nice if John Bike was here. Whether in the draw or not, just nice to have him here.
Yeah.
Oh, Nadi kind of fooled there. Dave
Oh.
goes with that underhand paddle again and misses it
Point.
again. Just doesn't look comfortable with that
That
shot.
was not a good air, particularly at 22-18 down.
CV scoreboard brought to you by Edel Handball. The Edel web store is now live, and you can buy gloves, eye shields, tees, and hats at Edel, E-D-T-L, handball.com. Edel Handball is on Twitter at Edel Handball. That's E-D-T-L Handball. Hashtag GoPlayHandball. And on Facebook, facebook.com, Edel Handball, /Edel Handball.
Want to say congratulations to my dad and Fred Banfield, who have been to
23
more
serving
race events
18.
this season as fans than any other fans in the game.
That's good.
Both attending 3 out of 4 so far.
Oh, Nadi has a re-kill and misses it. They should get the
Well, that's
the
a yellow.
airline, the airline ticket award, or
Well,
the
that's
Southwest.
a yellow jersey
18,
event,
serving 23.
Whoever
and
wins
that's
the most.
one of the few that you can tie in, actually.
Well, I came up with an interesting stat earlier today just thinking about it, although I'm sure you wrote it somewhere, is that a qualifier has made it to the finals
No, thanks.
in 2 of
Point.
3 race stops that we've had. One of those was an open tournament where we had no qualifiers. So
Right.
for the 2 available race stops, we've had 2 qualifiers make it to
19,
the finals.
serving 23.
That's 2 for 2. Let's see if we can make it 3 for 3.
That's right, Mondo Ortiz and Dermot Nash. Oh, it's a nice angle pass there from Dave. And both guys have had opportunities to Nadi to close this match out, or at least come close, and Dave to get himself closer.
Point.
See how Dave moved his feet right there, bent his knees, and hit that right corner kill, and he gets a point. We'd see a replay of that. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at that because they are, I believe, going to change gloves or have a timeout. But Dave, you know, we've seen these missed paddle shots from
It's
Chapman.
20 to 23.
I think you're going to see something completely different here if we can watch this instant replay. Watch how Dave moves his feet. We're going to see a little bit of high ceiling play between these two.
I like that angle there from Dave. Created the angle of a 2-wall pass without hitting the side wall.
I thought Chapman overhit that shot right there. Nadi goes down low but doesn't get low enough. Now watch how Dave really quickly moves his feet, gets it into the perfect striking position, and that's how he hits that little bit harder paddle right corner kill, and certainly looked much more methodical than in the previous attempts at that paddle re-kill.
Well, that was his best paddle kill of the match thus far.
20 serving 23. Side out.
Not the right time to miss that shot, Dave. Cuts the lead, would have cut the lead to 2 there. Instead, Nadi maintains his 3-point lead and the serve.
23 serving 20.
Two errors in a row with the right hand. Both of those right in Dave's wheelhouse.
Game point, serving 20. Short ball. Hit the line. Short ball.
Thought the referee said shirt ball. That might be a new sport. You just have a guy stand in the court and you just hit him with a handball. Sounds fun.
This could do it.
Oh, total overhit right there from Nadi. Dave steps into it, tries to pass him, doesn't get to it though. This could be the very last shot we see of this match coming up for Nadi Alvarado, and this will be replayed.
Both guys wasting some really good opportunities there to win the rally.
I want to say hello to John Galuhi. I think I said that right. Gahuli.
24, serving 20.
Who's watching this live broadcast from Ireland. In fact, they've got a viewing party
short ball
with rollouthandball.com and Paul Fitzpatrick and
cool.
Those
Second
guys
serve.
Some really good material on that website. Paul Fitzpatrick, a brilliant writer.
Yeah, his writing's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's very talented.
And Dave gets that up high.
Is Nadi tight here now, Dave? Because he's had 3 good looks at ending this match and has left the ball way up. He's overhit.
I thought about 2 shots ago.
20, serving 24. Side out.
And that's where Dave's movement has become a little bit of a liability for him. As that's a ball Dave normally would pick up and probably re-kill, or at least put it in a good spot.
You know, earlier you're talking about Luis Moreno being 11-1 lifetime in race events.
24, serving 20.
Well, that one loss was Charlie Shanks, and he found the NYAC home for a couple years, now back in Ireland. He's watching as well in Ireland. And Nadi could have almost closed it out right there. Dave able to get that ball back.
We might see an appeal of the serve here after this rally by Dave Chapman.
Or Nadi, for that matter.
Side out.
I thought it was short.
It's appeal. No, I called it. It was a good serve. You're appealing it for short? Okay.
I believe this could be overturned.
My call was that it was good. He thought it was short, and he agrees with my call. So, side out.
Once again, he split.
Yeah.
This ball, I believe.
I thought it was short. Well, there it looked like it might have been good, Dave.
20,
in real time, I did
24.
think it was short. thought it caught the back of the line and skidded just a bit.
20-24, Chapman serving. I like that little reverse there from Noddy. Excuse me, from Dave.
Well, Dave has a nice wrinkle on his serve. Doesn't use it all that much.
But that was a reverse. I don't see him usually doing that down the left, but Dave is creative and will throw out serves that he hasn't used in the whole tournament all of a sudden when he's down at 21-24 or whatever the score is.
21 serving
so
24.
Confident.
Well, Dave is down match point here, Dave, and there have been 6 instances in the history of race play, and that was short. Not called, though, and this point will be replayed regardless. Yeah.
Okay. Short serve. Okay. Short serve.
Yeah, that was clearly short. But Dave, Chapman down match point in this match. 6 times in the history of race play, a guy has been down match point and came back to win that match. Noddy Alvarado has been involved in 2 of those. And I know that you just mentioned Charlie Shanks, and this would be a tough one for him to have to relive, but Charlie Shanks had match point against Noddy Jr. in the first
Guys, replay that.
ever race event.
You guys were both right next to each other, and he had nowhere to go. Is he going to go towards the ball? He can't go into you because you're coming that way. It's a hinder ball.
That was really towing the line, but Charlie Shanks had match point on Noddy Jr. as a qualifier at the Plummer event. Wasn't able to close him out. Then Noddy Jr. faced match point again in the semifinals against Alan Garner and won that as well. Could Dave Chapman become the 7th? He seems to have 9 lives
21 serving 24.
Well, Dave is, over his history, has been able to find these strange ways of getting points at the end. The other player seems to get a little bit tight.
Nice
Dave steps it up and starts
Points.
hitting those corner kills. Now we're at 22-24, and Dave is going to have to score
at least 4 more points.
2 more points to force it overtime.
Yeah. And Dave, the farthest we've ever seen a match go into overtime in the main draw is 27-25, when once again our friend Charlie Shanks defeated Emmett Pichot.
So this whole thing's about Charlie Shanks then?
Well, you brought him up, and I want to highlight him. He was our #1 player at the end of last season.
Well, he's still my #1.
A lot of people asking about him here,
22
Dave.
serving 24. Short ball.
Dave going back to that left side, that time with a natural hook. Ball didn't make it over the line,
Second serve.
See how hard Dave hits this meet. Takes a little bit off of that.
I like that serve.
Noddy plays it very safe there, hitting a wraparound, and that sets Dave up right into the game he wants to play.
Now Dave's got his feet right, but he overhit that ball. Noddy goes flat over the top and gets the side out.
But Dave,
out of position, too far back.
Why? How does he make that error hitting the ceiling that hard in that spot? I mean, does he want to bait Noddy into going for that shot because he's missed so many of them, or is that just a kind of a mental letdown right there?
Serving 22.
It was an overhit, and Noddy's going to probably close it out here on this serve.
Well,
this is where Noddy needs it.
4th chance to do it. And he finally locates the serve to the left, but he backs up there. Very conservative, going for that pass shot again, and Dave makes him pay. Noddy's a bottom board guy, Dave, and all of a sudden he's trying to win this match with a pass shot. And as you said, Dave moves very well side to side.
22
very hard to
serving 24.
To hit a winner with a pass shot against Dave. Noddy puts a nice reverse on that big setup. Oh, an amazing shot, Dave. Unbelievable. Wow. That left-handed, chest height, open stance, mouse in the left corner.
Yeah, that's a Sean Lenning shot right there.
Wow.
Back when we used to call Sean the Freak.
24 serving 22.
And here it is, 5th time at match point for Noddy Alvarado.
And I'm surprised Chapman doesn't let that go off the back wall.
That's still a good return, though, from Chapman.
Contact, thanks, guys. Contact.
Players get a little tied up there, and you see that happen from time to time when the ball hits the front wall, ceiling, side wall, and it just kind of comes right back where you hit it, and you're not expecting it.
You don't know where to go.
Yeah, you're tangled up.
24 serving 22. Short ball.
What second serve will Noddy use here, Dave? Hasn't had a lot of success with the Z serve. But
second serve.
Looks like he'll go with it. Either a shallow Z or a sharp Z. That's the sharp Z. Well defended.
know about that shot there. Nadi's going to go for it down low. Dave is going to go underhand paddle kill
Side
again.
out.
Another side out. Nadi will be serving for his 6th time.
Well, if he gets back in there.
Yeah. Dave just hasn't. He'd have to throw out here a nice 4-point run, and he hasn't been able to really get 4 points.
22 serving 24.
I think 5 was the most that he got earlier. Just not sure that's what's going to happen.
Oh,
You remember back in the old days that these guys would play, the referees would say, this can be a 2-hour match. These guys take 2 hours. Well, even if with a 1 game to 25, they still go past the hour mark. That's just the way they do it.
and there hasn't been many
serving
floor
24.
wipings or timeouts either.
We throw Paul Brady in just to get us back on
Oh
schedule.
my gosh, Dave.
Side
That was
out.
terrible.
Wow. Don't think I've ever seen that before from Dave Chapman.
Well, Nadi's going for number 6 here.
24 serving 23.
Oh, I like that serve.
Side
That's
out.
a desperation shot, and that's a shot I've seen Nadi try.
Glove change. How, now your gloves. How your
Oh,
gloves?
this is so smart from Dave Chapman here. Getting
They're
this
good.
glove change at this moment where Dave
Similar
is one of the
glove change.
fastest recovery guys in the sport of handball. He needs 3 minutes right now. He's going to get it, and when he comes back in, you're going to see different legs from Dave Chapman, which could result in better back wall kills. Not that Nadi's really given him much here, but now it's getting really tight. Dave Chapman serving at 23 to 24. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in 1 minute. Stick around here at racefor8.com.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Back at the New York Athletic Club for the remainder of this match as Dave Chapman now closes it out, closes the gap out a little bit, bringing it up to 23 to 24. As Nadi Alvarado had a comfortable lead there.
Well, Dave, that could have been a premonition. Maybe Dave Chapman will close it out. Facing match point 7 times? Are you serious?
Unbelievable. But this is kind of what you see with Dave Chapman. He's able to do it somehow with this gamesmanship that he puts off in this court. Also some amazing shots when he needs to do it.
It's been a combination of a lot of things. Nadi Jr. not taking his chances when he should have. They really weren't even chances. They were setups that he should have gone for the bottom board. That's a fist 3-wall serve. Oh, an amazing shot. And Dave Chapman's lateral movement suspect there.
I don't think Dave thought Nadi was going to do that.
24 serving.
Here it is,
23.
7th chance to win the match, 24-23. Nadi serving, going to go to the right side here. Flips it to the left, goes for the deep crack, just misses it. And I believe Nadi
gets it.
Good match, guys.
Nadi takes down David Chapman 25 to 23 in a match that the locals absolutely love here in New York. Alvarado defeating Dave Chapman. And now advances to the round of 8. Coming up next, we're going to have Andy Nett and Armando Ortiz. Now, we saw Nadi serve 7 times. They have smiles on their faces here. 7 times to win this match, Dave, and then finally he was able to do it at the end. Really, his last 2 or 3 shots were spot on. Dave tried to go with that fist shot, 3-wall serve, which is one that he made famous here in New York.
Okay.
But he was unable to execute as Nadi turned it around, got him out with an amazing pass shot, and then his serve and next shot were great as well, and that gave him the win.
Those were 2 of the hardest shots Nadi had in the entire match. That 3-wall return that he blasted past Dave down the left, and then he comes back in, hits a good serve, and drills a left-hand kill down the left wall from chest height. That was a shot that served him very well throughout this match. He won 6 points with that left-handed kill from about the short line area.
We're going to take a quick 10-minute break. We'll be back with Andy Nett versus Armando Ortiz right around the corner. More round of 16 action as we continue here at the New York Athletic Club. For Dave Fink, Chris Garrad, Linda Manning, my name is Dave Vincent. Thanks for tuning in at racefor8.com.
My life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's 1 every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostup.org.
There are a million places you'd never consider texting. So why would you do it while driving? Leave risky driving to the professionals. Stop the texts, and together we can stop the wrecks.